This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
A lot of firms out there say they will do tax planning, say they will do Social Security planning and RMD planning, and typically they just do investment management. They want your money.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Where do you stand today with your retirement accounts, with your insurance, with Social Security, RMDs, taxes, all of it? This is how we need to think. We need to think outside of the box on these matters.
Abe is here to help you unlock the keys to your retirement.
Thinking about the dance that is figuring out our finances, Abe, because it is one that never seems to end. And case in point is starting off right here with this first conversation I wanted to ask you about. For many years, if a parent passed an IRA or 401k down to a loved one upon their death, that person that inherited it could take that money out in small amounts each year. It was a required minimum distribution based on the benefactor's age. There was a small tax hit, but the money could really last a long time. However, things have since changed and continue to do so. First, the Secure Act passed by Congress in 2019 stipulated that you have to exhaust all of that money over a 10-year period. There was no longer throughout the course of your life stretch. Even if you wanted to wait until the end of the 10th year, though, you did have that option to wait till the end of those 10 years. However, just recently, the IRS has taken it now a step further, adding that if you get an inherited IRA, you have to now take an RMD in each of those 10 years. It continues to be complicated, Abe. If they keep changing the rules, how in the heck are we supposed to keep up and also not have to pay unnecessary taxes, fees, and fines in our own retirement years?
All I can say, Heather, is you better stay on top of the rules to the game. And It's hard enough for us as financial professionals to keep up on the ever-changing rules to the game, Heather. Yeah. So I can only imagine that it's super hard on the American public, you know, our middle-class millionaires, just keeping up on these ever-changing rules. It's challenging. They can be confusing. And, you know, here the IRS comes out with a set of rules just over 2 years ago, and then the rules to the game change. And I bet you this is a rule that very few people are aware of right now that just recently changed this month that could affect you and your taxes and your retirement plan this year, or your loved ones at least.
Sure.
So we've got to know the rules of the game. We got to stay on top of them. And by working with financial professionals who are fiduciaries, who have your best interest at heart and first, that can be super helpful. And so we just had a couple come in, and this is what they were concerned with. This couple has saved $2.5 million. So they've done a fantastic job of saving. They're in their mid to late 60s. They are already retired. And so they weren't concerned really with the amount of monies that they've saved, but they were concerned with everything going on in this country and in the world and everything that could mess up this fantastic job of accumulating. You know, $2.5 million saved. What we found, though, Heather, when we did some digging, is two main things that I pointed off to them in our first meeting with them is, hey, fantastic job of accumulating, but did you realize, and they did, that $2 million, roughly, of your $2.5 million accumulated has not been taxed yet? And are you concerned with that? Yes, they were concerned with it. Matter of fact, they had started to do some Roth planning and Roth conversions on their own, and they had went to, you know, a seminar or a workshop somewhere and paid a small fee, you know, for some tax planning advice, went to do some Roth conversion planning on their own, and not knowing all the rules to the game, they did this conversion. They moved some monies from traditional IRAs to Roth IRAs, but they did such a big conversion that it bumped up their Medicare premiums, which they weren't happy with. And so I think these are the types of things that happen when you try to make changes to your finances, to your portfolios, to your taxes, to your insurances, whatever it may be, without putting together a holistic, comprehensive retirement plan, without knowing how everything affects each other, because every decision you make can affect something else. So if you do a Roth conversion, you may or may not know that if your income goes up high enough, your Medicare premiums can go up if you're receiving Medicare because you've crossed over certain income thresholds. They did not know that. They found out the hard way. And many stories like this we come across. So this couple in their mid to late 60s with $2.5 million saved was concerned about taxes and concerned about market risk. And so what we found out was that the majority of their monies that they've saved are pre-taxed. They are concerned that they are potentially sitting on ticking tax time bombs. They are concerned that a tax freight train might be coming, right? Because our country's in not great financial shape, $30 trillion of national debt.
Right.
Yeah, $30 trillion of national debt. And if you polled 9 out of 10 people out there, they would think that taxes are going up. So although they've done a fantastic job of saving, if taxes go up, which they're scheduled to go back up in 2026, and I showed them that, they're probably going to be paying a few percent more in tax, probably. The second big concern for them was, what am I doing? What are we doing to protect our life savings from the next market crash? So we have a lot of ways that we ask our clients about risk and risk tolerance and what their risk comfort is and risk appetite is to losses and risk in the market. And they told our team that they're about a 5, which for us is middle of the road. Not too hot, not too cold. They were invested as if they were closer to a 10. In other words, of this $2.5 million that they've accumulated, again, fantastic job of saving, very little of it, like just a few percent of it, was in cash with downside protection. So I said, well, wait a minute. You guys say you're a 5. You guys say you're middle-of-the-road investors. You're not too hot, not too cold. But 90-something% of this $2.5 million has no protections. Meaning, whatever the markets do on the downside is what you are experiencing right now on the downside. Sure enough, we pulled up their bonds, their individual holdings. We pulled up their bond ETFs. We pulled up their stock funds. And year to date on their bonds, they were down 4 to 7. And on their stock funds, they're down 7 to 20. So everything is down right now. Everything. Wow. Even what was safer in the past, their bond portion of the portfolio, 35% of their portfolio is losing money when it's supposed to be the protected part of their portfolio, right? Yeah. So I said, we got to do something about this. There's nothing protecting essentially close to 50% of your portfolio, which is what you want. Further, it's all going down. It's not keeping up with inflation. And a lot of this is dead. What are we doing about it? We've got to make some changes so your portfolio aligns with your risk comfort. Right. So it aligns with what you want to achieve down the road in retirement. So they took advantage, Heather, of what we call our Where Do I Stand plan. And they do have actually all of their money with 2 major firms. So all of their money is elsewhere, being managed elsewhere. And they came in for a second opinion. And oftentimes our clients that have done the best for retirement in terms of the most amount of money saved and the most efficient comprehensive retirement plans are coming in for a second or third opinion because they don't know what they don't know and they want to compare what another firm can do versus what they have today. So for anyone listening right now, if you sound anything like this couple, you're in your 60s, you feel you've done a great job, you've saved $500,000 or more for your retirement, but you don't know what you don't know. You're concerned maybe about taxes going up, concerned maybe with the current situation of the markets and the market environment being turbulent, concerned maybe with inflation or anything that can really eat away at your retirement dollars. Go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us link at the top of the page, and we'll help you address any concerns that you have right now as well.
All right, so you just made mention about the idea of if you've saved $500,000 or more, Abe, and for a lot of folks thinking about retirement, they have gotten to that goal or perhaps a bit beyond. So thinking about having $500,000 in your bank account, if you want to use it to travel to space, well, now you can. Virgin Galactic is selling tickets to its suborbital flights for a mere $450,000 a seat. Each one takes off from New Mexico, lasts a minimum of 90 minutes, and reaches speeds of about 2,600 miles an hour. While the cost might seem steep for, I think, almost everybody listening to us on WMAL right now, the idea of having this kind of money, $500,000, is something that you are very well familiar with. If somebody were to come to you and say, I'm not going to buy a ticket to outer space, this is what I've saved for my retirement, what can you do for the folks that come to you with the $500,000 or more?
Great question, Heather. Yeah, and you're right. You know, most people that we meet with and most people in the country can't afford a $500,000 flight to space.
Right.
Can they afford to fly first class? Sure. Can they afford maybe even a private flight? Perhaps. You know, some people certainly can. But I would say, to answer your question, Heather, most people are looking for a combination of things when it comes to their portfolio dollars. In other words, most people just don't want growth. Most people just don't want income. They want a combination of growth and income. They want to be protected against maybe rising inflation. They want to know that they're hedged against maybe a healthcare event down the road. And they know that by having a really well-diversified portfolio that addresses multiple things, they can enjoy multiple things, right? They know that if they live into their 90s, the chances are that maybe their money won't run out, if they're not too conservative. On the other hand, they don't want to be too aggressive because they're in their 60s, they're not in their 40s, and they don't want to be the next 2008 statistic and lose 40% of their portfolio right before they retire or into retirement. So they typically, our clients want a combination of things. I'll give you an example. One of our recent clients just came in and he loves to golf. And he and his wife are moving from Western Loudoun County to Pinehurst.
Oh, in North Carolina? Nice.
That's right.
Yeah,
and this gentleman wants to golf. This is his version of going to space. He wants to golf. He wants to golf 4 to 6 times a week, which is awesome. I was a little jealous of that. Yeah. And I love golf, and I just don't golf enough. And he's a great golfer. And long story short, his family is moving to Pinehurst. Some of his family members, some of his friends are moving there. There's tons of golf courses, and it's going to be the retirement of their dreams. And he had a round with a couple ladies in their 80s out on the golf course, and these ladies were making their own bar on the golf cart, which our client thought was pretty funny. Looks like, and he said to the ladies, "Looks like you guys are going to have a fun round."
Yeah.
And the 2 ladies in their 80s, still playing golf, said to our client, "We've been here in this Pinehurst community for 20 to 30 years, and it feels like we've never ended our vacation. It feels like we've always been on vacation." Oh, wow. That's what all of you deserve. That's what all of us deserve. Those of us that have worked hard for 30 to 40, 50 years to do everything we need to do, to have saved enough, we need to start thinking about how we can enjoy the fruits of our labor, the fruits of this 50 years of work without running out of money. And if you're working with an advisor or a firm that's not talking to you about how you can distribute your money and enjoy it while you're alive, you need to leave, or you need to think about maybe making a change to a firm that can show you how to spend and enjoy your money without the fear of running out.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish, NPM number 770-3575.